John Murphy, and welcome to Mindset Matters. When you think about all of the inputs day to day, what we eat, what we drink, nothing's more important than what we think. Because what we think, our mindset, sets a tone. It triggers how we feel in our heart. Just think about something positive, it's a positive impact on your body. If you think of something negative or stressful, it kicks in those stress hormones, and well, blood rushes to our limbs and leaves our head, so we're not as sharp as we should be when we're stressed out. So the idea here is about mindset, and our theme for this month, for January, is peace. So we're going to talk in this episode quite a bit about peace and what we can do to be more at peace because if the world's ever going to be at peace, it's got to start with each one of us. The world can't be at peace if we're not. So let's do what we can within our control to find that sense of equanimity, serenity, peace in any situation. It also happens to be Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And Dr. King was born 97 years ago on January 15th, actually. And you might know the story, you might not, but he was certainly a peace activist. But in a sense, he had to fight for peace. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to people. Yeah, how do you fighting for peace, really? But I also happen to be a graduate of Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has a mantra. Basically, what would you fight for? What would you fight for? And there's over 100 episodes now of examples and cases at Notre Dame where professors, students, alumni have fought, the Fighting Irish fought for something that they really believe in. And in Martin Luther King's case, it was civil rights, right? And I think it was in 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize, but he went through a rough time. He was incarcerated a number of times, investigated by the FBI, harassed, threatened, and of course, ultimately assassinated. So we're not talking today about quite that conviction, if you will, but we will talk more about courage and how important courage is in letting go of things weighing us down that get in the way of peace and serenity and a sense of grace and letting flow. So one of my courses at Fuel is called Beyond Doubt, Four Steps to Inner Peace. And those four steps we'll highlight in a number of these episodes. But the four steps are let be, let go, let see, and let flow. And this is an being present. And while we're present, we're thinking about what is. What is right now? And if there's anything disturbing us, we identify it because this gives us then things to let go of. The second step to let go. So we might discover that we don't feel uh, at ease. We don't feel at peace. We're in an abusive relationship, or we just aren't confident. We worry a lot about whatever it is that we face. So we identify in the let be phase uh, anything that we feel is, in Martin Luther King's case, unjust, something that just really troubles us. And in the let go phase, the second step, we identify any barriers. Now, in Dr. King's case, uh, that could have been fear or apathy, just there's nothing I can do about it, just, hey, whatever. Or the fear, the doubt, the worry, the anxiety to step up and make a change, to really let go of resistance and hesitation, and to speak up and even risk your life. Think about that for a minute. So in the let be, we identify, and I challenge you to do this, identify anything right now that's puts you uh, in a dis-ease state, because disease comes from dis-ease. So where am I not just at peace? Is it a relationship with somebody, a spouse, a partner, a parent, a child, a boss, a sibling, any conflict that you feel, and you just contemplate that. What's going on? And why is it the way it is? And you've heard me talk in other episodes about frequencies. It might be, we all have a frequency. Maybe it's a frequency that just doesn't seem to get along. In many cases, it's because we haven't set clear boundaries. And that's another example of what Dr. King did. He set some boundaries for himself. He said, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm just simply not going to look the other way while an entire race gets abused. So think about some boundaries you might have to set. Incidentally, that might mean leaving a relationship. Like, I'm just done with this. I've had to go through that a number of times in my life. I'm done with this. There's just too much conflict. Oil and water don't mix well. So I'm done with it. So the let go phase of the ring is really about identifying where you need to make a change, what you might need to let go of. And that could be anything from resistance to apathy to even anger. You channel your anger, that energy, towards something positive rather than toward the conflict. Let go of shame, let go of doubt about yourself or about the situation. You let those things go. And it might even be you let go of a relationship, or you at least define some boundaries for yourself where I'm just not going to put up with certain things anymore. And I know a number of people, friends, family, uh, colleagues who are in relationships where they just can't find the courage, the conviction. Nothing speaks louder, no one speaks louder about courage and conviction than Dr. King. All right. And to the point of, they refer to it as civil disobedience and nonviolent action. So in a peaceful way, we disobey. Think about that. In a peaceful way, we disobey. But what are we disobeying? We're disobeying the old rules. We're done with that. We're letting go of anything that's weighing us down. So I'm challenging you now to think about that. What could be really weighing me down in my life and causing me a feeling of conflict, of uneasiness? When we identify what it is, then we want to let go of. And we practice just getting beyond that. And there are a number of ways to do that. But meditation is one where you just let go of anything in the past because you can't do anything about the past. Let it go. Let go of anything you're thinking about the future that makes you feel uneasy now. So there are no neutral thoughts. Let me repeat that. There are no neutral thoughts. Every thought we have is either positive or negative. It's either proactive or reactive. It's either optimistic or it's negative, but there are no neutral thoughts. So when we start becoming more and more mindful of our mindset, which matters, we start to really think about, why am I thinking negative? Because I have a choice. I like to think of the mind as a kingdom, and I am king of that kingdom, and you are king or queen of your kingdom. So think about it another way. When someone says, I changed my mind, who's the I? Because we're not the mind. The mind is a tool, but the mind runs our lives most of the time. So when we take control of that, we say, I am king or queen of my kingdom, my mind. I can choose my thoughts. And when I'm truly present and thoughtful about the thoughts I choose, so I choose to be at peace. I choose to see peace in the world. Oh, but John, you can't be talking seriously about that. There's no peace in the world. Just look at the news. Just look around. It's chaos. There's constantly battles going on here and there. And I'll say that's been going on for millennia. And so if you're waiting to be at peace for when the world stops fighting, good luck with that. There is peace. There's blue sky beyond the clouds. You're looking at the clouds. I see blue sky. Everywhere there is peace. And everywhere there is conflict. And what we see in the world is a direct reflection of what we have going on in our own mind. So if our mind is disturbed, diseased, angry, dualistic, fearful, ego, if we're attached to the ego mindset, which is fear-based and dualistic, right, wrong, black and white, win and lose, we see it everywhere, right? If we accept that mindset, we don't live in peace. We can't be at peace. And then we don't see peace anywhere. We live in a chaotic world. There is an alternative to that. And this is why mindset is the most important of all the inputs. It's more important than nutrition and food and water and oxygen. Obviously, those things are important, but the mind is essential because what we think of the food, what we think of the exercise, what we think of whatever we are, the inputs, that's essential. So examine your thoughts in the let be phase. What do I have a tendency to think? Do I have a tendency to be positive? Do I have a tendency to be bold and courageous and step up and set boundaries for myself? Or do I have a tendency to just abdicate authority and put up with it? It's just that's the way it is. What about excuses? Do you make excuses in your life? Well, that's just the way it is, and or I don't have the right skill set for this or that, or I'm too old or too young to make a change. Those kinds of excuses. So now examine your mind in the let be phase. Identify something to let go of that's holding you back. And the let go is almost a starting point because from this point on, I'm going to let go of this hostility I have towards someone. Okay. I'm going to let go of condemnation. Okay. I'm going to let go of what I think is forgiveness, but isn't really forgiveness because I'll never forget. That's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is just completely letting it go, right? So if I'm going to live in peace, I've got to live with forgiveness. There's no other way. I've got to live without condemnation because anything I condemn is reflected back to I'm condemning myself. If I can't forgive others, I'm not forgiving myself. So we live in this trap. Anything we put out, we get back. It's karmic law, right? So as an exercise now, think about one area of your life that's troubling, examine it, open up your chat and share, if you will, what one thing that might be troubling you. Okay, you don't have to put names or anything like that, but let's just say it's a sibling. I haven't talked to my sister or my brother in 2 years, and we just don't get along. Okay, examine that. And why is that? And ask yourself, what part of the problem am I? This is where we take responsibility for our own feelings. And if I feel bad for any reason, it's because I'm thinking something that isn't positive. What we think transmits into feelings, and those feelings extend into the world. So we receive back whatever we're feeling. So if I'm thinking about something negative or something hostile, some bad thing that happened to me at some point in my life, and I'm not able to let it go, okay, it's just going to keep coming back to haunt me. When we let go of anything weighing us down, these rivalries, these doubts, the guilt that might come with it, the grief, the shame. When we let that go, we begin to see a whole different world. We start to see this person who annoyed us with more compassion. We start to listen more carefully to their story, their upbringing, how they were raised by their parents, what programs they were downloaded with from the time they were a child. We start to really empathize and find out that, you know what, deep down, they might be hurting. They could be hurting worse than me. Maybe there's something I can do to help. And by helping others, we help ourselves. Again, it's karmic law. Anything we give, we put out there, we get back sooner or later. And this is what leads us into what I like to call flow. Flow is effortless manifestation. Flow is like trees growing tall. They're not working at it. They just do because they're supposed to. When we're in touch with our true nature, our essence, okay, we expand, we grow, we learn, we change every second of every day. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we're developing, right? And peace is where we are, everything is aligned. In the human body, there's 50 trillion cells. Think about that, 50 trillion. And each cell has 0.07 volts of electricity, 0.07. Multiply that by 50 trillion, and we are very powerful electromagnetic beings. That's like 3.5 billion volts. So there's a miracle for you right there. So when you start to really harmonize your own body and you start to really align, we discover we're far more powerful than we think we are. And we start thinking about how can I channel more peace into the world? Again, Martin Luther King, what a beautiful example of that. What can I do for others? What can I do to pull people together? In my case, this is almost 40 years ago. I created a workshop called Pulling Together. It became the title of my first book, which was then published in a number of different languages through different publishers, including Vietnamese. I mean, the book is published in Vietnamese. Think about that with the history we have with Vietnam. And for the last almost 40 years, I've gone about the world doing what I can to bring peace into businesses. I'm a business consultant. So what can I do to go into an organization where there's dysfunction, there's disconnects, there's misalignment, things like that, and pull people together so things are smoother. In business terms, flow translates into cash flow, product flow, service flow. Things are flowing easily and effortlessly. And so customers are experiencing a benefit to that, of course, as are shareholders. It's all in harmony, it's all in balance. So on a large scale, I've set out, like a Dr. King, to do what I can for others to pull people together. But it's got to start internally. We have to find our own inner peace. What does that mean? It means confidence. It means we've eliminated doubt so that we feel like we can't really make a mistake. We can't really get it wrong because we'll learn from that and adapt. So we'll go through life making lots and lots of mistakes without fear because we see them as learning opportunities. We may go through multiple relationships and learn something from each one of them and not look back with regret. Not look back, have no enemies in the world. None. Why? Because we forgive and we let go. And the more we practice this is why the Ring of Peace is a practice. We let be, we accept what is. We can't change what is right now. We can learn from it. We can't change the past. And the only thing we can do about the future is find ways to make it better. What can we do to pull people together? What can we do to resolve conflict? Okay, what are we willing to fight for? So I invite you to just take a minute or so to really think about how do I apply this in my life? Identify one person you can set things straight with. Incidentally, that does not mean, well, I'm just going to take whatever this person dishes out to me. That's not peace, right? It's not inner peace for you, that's for sure. So I like something Gandhi said. In fact, I'm wearing one of his shirts, be the change you want to see in the world. I like to say, be the peace you want to see in the world. All right? Be the peace you want to see in the world. Keep your head up. Walk with poise and grace. Enter the day with confidence. And people will see that. And when you start to demonstrate peace, not talk about it, not pray for it, not hope for it, but be it, demonstrate it everywhere you go. You're checking out at the grocery store and you're calm and you're relaxed and you treat people with respect and you call them by name. That's a very different scenario than somebody who's behind you in line screaming, hurry up and agitated. The more you see the world around you and the conflict and the chaos going on, the more you recognize the need for this, the need for people to mind their own minds, all right, mind their own kingdoms and learn these techniques to do that. So examine the let be state you have right now. Maybe it's a job situation. I'm not at peace with my job. I don't look forward to doing it. I don't like going to wherever I have to go. I had that situation in 1982 to 84. It was just, I was bored. I just was working at a big corporate office in Chicago, and I just, get me out of here. So you recognize anything that's causing you disharmony or conflict. Another way to think about this physically is if you have 50 trillion cells in your body. By the way, each cell's doing 6 trillion things per second. Again, we're back to miracles here. We are energy beings, light beings. A body that is not in alignment, a body that's not in balance, a body that's not in harmony, a body that is not at ease becomes diseased. Same thing with the mind. All right. If we're not at peace, if our minds are running toxic thoughts all day long, it won't be long before it shows up in the body. Okay. Rapid aging, lots of wrinkles, sore joints, toxic, acidic results, acidic thinking, acidic being. There's an alternative to that. And you can approach the day, every day, with a sense of peace. And I do that through meditation. So part of my Mindset Matters meditations, I meditate every morning. And there are different ways, of course, hundreds of different ways to meditate. And I know Allie and Danielle have shared many of those here on Mindset Matters. I'll share one that's very simple to help bring more peace into your life. And this is a Taoist meditation. The Tao, T-A-O, is ancient Chinese. It's, the Tao Te Ching was written 500 years before the Bibles. And the Tao essentially translates into the great current, the great flow, the way of life, the way. Everything, some people refer to the Tao as God, as source, as the power behind everything. So aligning with the Tao is aligning with flow. And when we align with flow, Tai Chi, Qigong, all the martial arts came from the Tao. So the Tao is instrumental to harmony, balance, rhythm, flow. And you see people doing Tai Chi, it's graceful, it's flow. So the Taoist practitioners or cultivators, as they're often referred to, have some certain sounds that they do. And the sound for inner peace is the sound shh, like calm down, be quiet. And that sound, by the way, correlates in the body with the liver. And if the liver's out of balance, where do you think the word livid came from? If the liver's out of balance, it translates either into anger externally, which we know what that is, or anger internally, which is just another word for depression. So anger, internally or externally, is afflicting millions and millions and millions of people, right? So how can we create a sense of calm in the morning where we center ourselves? And in the Taoist practice, the number six is a spiritual number, and so we do it 6 times. So the whole idea of this mindset matters meditation is we just close our eyes if you like, you take very deep breath and you let out this sound and you visualize every cell in your body relaxing. You relax your thoughts. And one of the reasons I like this type of meditation is because without one thing to think about while we do our exercise, while we meditate, the mind will wander. You've probably experienced this. We're trying to be present. We're trying not to think. Good luck with that. And so our mind's going all over the place. By identifying one thing to meditate on, like the liver, or like the sound of peace, or the sound of the ocean, running water, those types of sounds, a stream, is a very calming, peaceful uh, chant, if you will, or mantra. So one more time, I'll demonstrate it one more time. You can do this on your own anytime. I like to do it first thing in the morning. Just take time. There are other Taoist meditations I do with this one, but just a deep breath. And I like to visualize, again, keep my mind present when I'm doing that. Visualize my blood flowing effortlessly, everything in the body, the blood vessels, the capillaries, everything just relaxing, oxygen flowing from head to toe, the mind, the brain just clearing away any toxic thoughts, everything just flushing through. Taoist teachers will also say visualize the liver like it's a balloon and you're blowing it up and you're just blowing it clean, so to speak. You're cleansing the liver, which cleanses the blood, which cleanses the body. The liver correlates with the third eye. Uh, some call it the vision of Christ, or just this. It relates to the pineal gland, and the pineal gland draws abundance into our lives. But it becomes very calcified over the years, and the pineal gland, right in the center of your brain, it's about the size of a grain of rice. If it's not active in the way it should be, it just draws chaos into our lives. So we want to meditate and go through the body, some call it a body scan, and just relax uh, all the different parts of our body. So that's a tool for you to practice along with the Ring of Peace. Just as a quick review, we let be what is, we learn from it, we examine it, we contemplate it. It could be a relationship, could be any number of things. We identify what we need to let go of. There are all kinds of things you could probably think of. I need to just stop doing this, let go of that, let go of excuses I'm making for myself, let go of resistance, take my foot off the brake, so to speak, and go through life with more confidence, more poise, more grace. And when we do those first two, the let be, let go, we begin to really see things very differently with the mind's eye. We see peace where we used to see conflict. We see people who annoyed us with more compassion. Doesn't mean we stay with them. Doesn't mean we like hanging out with them. We do set boundaries, but we set boundaries and we mind our mind. And we have the courage, the conviction, like Dr. King, to move forward in life without without fear, beyond doubt. And with that, we get into that whole rhythm, that whole flow. I appreciate you joining us here on this Mindset Matters. I have a show as well on Fridays. It's called Fearless. I invite you to join. That's at 11 o'clock Eastern Time every Friday here through Fuel. And I invite you to check out, I have 2 classes with Fuel. One is Beyond Doubt, 4 Steps to Inner Peace, where I actually walk you through various tools to really practice just exactly what we highlighted here. The other course is on creative problem solving. I don't know a whole lot of people in the world who don't have some problems to solve. And if you're looking for creative techniques on how to do that more rationally, more effectively, with more creativity and innovation, especially if it's a problem you're trying to solve with a team or a family, there's a model that you can walk through that keeps you aligned throughout the process of problem solving or resolving conflict. So I invite you to check out my courses there. And with that, I will say best wishes and come back next Monday for Mindset Matters. I believe it's with Allie. And if not Allie, Danielle. And then I'll be back in 3 weeks to share another episode with you. All right. Well, take care and leave your
Oh,
feedback with us if you will. And
we
we
got a
will.
couple questions in the Zoom if you want to answer them.
Oh, I don't see them in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find those. Why am I not seeing those?
Uh, Clara, apologize if I write
What's
your.
Clara's question? Oh,
Would
here
you
we
be
go.
able to share some of the disciplines slash routines that you do on a daily basis from the morning till the evening that help you with maintaining peace throughout your day?
Yeah, great question, Clara. Uh, you breathe all day long, right? I certainly hope so. So there's a reason that we call that respiration because it's a respiriting. There's nothing you can do that gets you more connected with your true self, capital S self, your higher self, the one that says, I changed my mind, that I, than breathing. So anytime you feel a struggle, take a deep breath, take 30 seconds, and just breathe. Focus on your breathing. If you ever watch sports and you see like a basketball player get up to the free throw line and he's got to make a game-winning shot or she's got to make a game-winning shot or whatever, no matter what, they get up there and you watch them. They'll take a deep breath. So that's one practice throughout the day. And I continue to remind myself about the let be and let go steps, if you will. Practice being present. And when my mind starts to wander, I bring it back to the present. I mind my mind, meaning there are no neutral thoughts. So anytime I'm thinking something that's triggering a negative feeling, stress is self-induced, as is fear. When we are afraid, we are projecting something in the future that could go wrong. Fear is self-induced. It's not what's out there that scares us. It's what we think about what's out there that scares us. It's an assumption that something will go wrong. Uh-oh, I might screw something up. So throughout the day, presence is about minding our mind and really thinking about what I am thinking that's triggering whatever it is I'm feeling. We do have control over our feelings. So I think that's an essential start. And again, to incorporate just breathing, being present around our breath. I see another question here from Mike. How long do you usually do it? Great question. No matter what time I have to go to work, I get up 2 hours earlier, 2 hours before I have to be somewhere or do something for my morning quiet time. I never turn on the news. I never look at my email or my phone first thing in the morning because you are delegating your life, your agenda to whatever's on your phone or the news. That's probably the worst thing you can do first thing in the morning is watch something negative or delegate your authority for how you are going to spend the next hour to your phone or your email. That's addiction. There's a let go of right there for you. If you examine your life and you have a tendency to do that, oh my God, I have to look at what did I miss overnight? In this social media age, that's a serious addiction. Let it go or give yourself an hour or two. And then during those 2 hours, I take 30 minutes typically, 20 to 30 minutes every day to meditate, to get centered, to get grounded, and it's just helped me immensely. The Taoist meditation. So there are six different sounds. They're on a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. You can check them out. I teach them in the Beyond Doubt course. Um, but very quickly, the six. The first one uh, is relative to the kidneys, and the kidneys correlate with everything from your hair and your ears and your hearing to your thyroid, your entire endocrine system, to your skin and to your bones and your joints. The kidneys are key. And so again, you do it six times, but the kidney sound is it's like FWE with a high pitch, and then you let that vibration settle in your kidneys. So the sound is free. And then you'd carry that out. And while you do that, you're visualizing your kidneys and all the things your kidneys do in terms of, and kidneys also represent youth and vitality and enthusiasm. So that particular mantra is all about, I'm going to approach the day today with vitality and vigor and virtue and enthusiasm and inspiration and passion. I'm going to be the light. I'm going to be the one that lights up the room when I come in. That's an affirmation, and you come in, you're reprogramming yourself from whatever you're carrying in the past to the most vibrant, lively, beautiful person you can be. Be the change. Be the peace. So the fui is kidneys, which correlates to your fingernails and your toenails, your joints. The second one is the liver one I covered before. The third one is the heart. And the heart's how we communicate energetically with the universe, with the world, the people around us. We're communicating more through the heart without words than anything else. And the heart mantra is the sound ah, like when the doctor says, stick your tongue out and say ah. And if you do these deep enough, and again, you do it six times, you'll feel the vibration in your kidneys, in your liver, in your heart, particularly the ah vibration in your heart. So, uh, the ah is just simply a deep breath, and then it's ah, and then you carry that out for a very long time. I know we're short on time here. Uh, but that, the heart, the blood flow, not just the blood flow, but the chi energy, the life-giving force running through the body. You open up these meridians, which is what emotional freedom technique and meridian tapping does. I teach that in the Beyond Doubt course. That's a let go, a release process where we're letting go of programs that don't serve us well. The ah is a way to just um, fill your soul, if you will, with peace, with courage. So think about the heart represents courage, conviction, passion, confidence, poise, blessings. Bless the world. By blessing the world, you're blessing yourself. That's the heart sound. Then you go to the spleen, and the spleen is responsible for your immunity system. All right. Your red and white blood cells, your white blood cells cleaning your body, flow. Think of the spleen in one word as flow, and not just physical flow, blood flow, nourishment, things like that, but mind flow, creativity flow, relationship flow, money flow, financial flow. So that spleen energy is what draws abundance and flow into your life. All right. And the spleen the spleen sound is it's like who, but it's long and drawn out like who, and then the sound would then be ooh. And the spleen also is correlates with the lips, the mouth, the words that come out of your mouth. And so when you do that sound, you will definitely feel vibration around the lips. Then there's the lungs. And when we respirit, we respirit, the lungs are responsible for um, life. Okay, we can't live without breathing. And so we clear the lungs with the sound. S. like a snake hissing. The sound the Taoists will teach that while we do that sound, we visualize our lungs being like power washed. If you think about a power washer, just we're cleansing our lungs, oxygen's flowing to our brain, oxygen's flowing to our limbs. The whole body is oxygenated. Every cell is saying, yeah, it's appreciating that every breath. These are powerful, 2,500-year-old practices that have was 2,500 years old. And so, and you can certainly learn more about them. So those were the five vital organs, as the Taoists will teach. And then the sixth mantra is all about the light, the aura that we have, the energy field around us, and how we can light up rooms, so to speak. And that sound is like she, and it's just a deep breath, and then it's she, and you'd continue that, and then that you visualize your light. You just you expansion. We're here. We're meant to expand, to learn, to grow, to connect. Everything's about relationships. Our relationship with ourselves, with our loved ones, with our jobs, with where we live, our connections. So these are mantras I use, and I I can't tell you how much I benefit from them. And it's been 3 decades that I've been doing this. What else have I missed over here? I think I've got everything. Is that everything, Scott?
Yep.
All right. Well, again, hopefully you'll be back next Monday for another episode of Mindset Matters. And if you can, join me Friday for Fearless. I'd love to see you there. And with that, we will say goodbye. And you can also find me on social media and through my website, johnjmurphy.org. So if you've got other questions or you want to connect on social media, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and God bless, and happy.